What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Cece, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Introverted Vibes and Extroverted Energy. I'm here with my girl, Dr. J, and we are here to talk about something that we all have to use in our daily life, which is, what is it, Dr. J? Conflict resolution. Look. You see? Oh, yeah. Wrong episode. Personality versus perception.
Yes, personality versus perception. With being introverted and extroverted women, like, do people really know what that means?
I don't think so. I think that a lot of people just assume that you have to run with one type of personality all the time, and that the perception is you're everything that's textbook related to what it is with your personality type. And that's just not the case.
Right. So I think what people don't know is when it comes to your personality, it's really where your energy comes from. And so that's what we want to talk about today. What are those misconceptions and from what people think or what they've been told or what they've learned, what it is that I don't even know how to even explain it. We want to talk about today what introversion and extroversion really means.
Yeah. I think that it's really important for people to understand that there is a textbook definition of what it is, but then there's also all the things like the experiences in our lives that relate to us being fully extroverted or fully introverted, or what little character traits we have that can transition between the two.
Correct.
And so, I think it's something that people really don't dive into. They just assume they have to have every single textbook ideal that has to do with being an extrovert or being an introvert.
Right. So with that being said, Cece, what does extroversion really mean?
You know what? I was doing my research on this because I know what I've experienced being an extrovert, but really looking at what it means, textbook definition, it is a noun, adjective, noun. I don't know, but we're going to, I got to kind of play with you. I got to make sure you guys are looking it up yourself. Actually, it is an adjective. And it really just describes our personality as being outward.
Right.
And the way that it is like when you look at the definition, and I'm talking about the Webster Dictionary definition of extrovert, is that it is an outward person that is impatient, someone who they have to live in social interaction. And they're also type A personalities. And so that was really interesting to see. I can see it as to why, because I'm definitely a type A personality. And perfectionist was another word that came up when it was describing an extrovert person in the dictionary. And then also now this outwardness, and the reason why it came from that outwardness, when I was looking up the additional history of it, was when you look at anything, and it was a Greek researcher who brought it up. And his research was what happens when there are social interactions with someone who was more outward with their personality versus someone who was more inward. And that's where he came with the extro and the intro.
Right.
And so I strived away from the intro. I don't know. But when I focused in on that outro and someone who is outward, it was in relation to how they interacted with people and what that did for their stimulant. And their stimulant was more excited. They had their dopamine, and it was very, very turned on. You know what I'm talking about, girl?
Right.
So it was that we were thriving. And so when I think about that and I'm thinking about my interactions with people, I'm like, okay, I was those things. I become more energized, and I feel that energy from that. So that extroverted personality came from that. there's a lot of things in there I did agree with when I was looking in the dictionary. And you guys all at home, you may relate to some of these things as well. That type A personality, being impatient, and also being very, what's the word I want to say? Because I don't want to put too much. It said aggression. Okay. It said aggression. Now, I don't think I'm aggressive, but I know I can be very stern. Correct. But I have heard that I'm aggressive. And so y'all let me know at home in the comments, do you hear that term about yourself for those of you who are in our extroverted land? But that was something that I saw, and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm aggressive, but I do feel like I'm very stern with things. And that may play a role, but is aggression really that right word? But can I argue with the Webster Dictionary about what it says, right? So that was kind of what I found out. Everybody, make sure you go look it up for yourself, because I know I may be misjumbling stuff, right? But that's just kind of what I took away from it. So that extrovertness out there, that's kind of what that meant from that research. So it's your turn, girl. Tell me about introverted. Where did it come from?
So we gave a good explanation of how the word came to be. But when it comes to introversion, it's really, again, where we gain our energy. So for us as introverts, we're more internal thinking before we are, out in spaces where it's internal thoughts and feelings, I guess you could say. We don't get, we are not receptive to external stimulation. We rather be to ourselves. Not saying that we don't like to be around people, but we get more in being in solitude than we do out in external spaces. I don't know what type of personality, you did some really good research. I don't know what type of personality resonates with that. I think it could be all of them. It's just really how we navigate the spaces.
Yeah.
The other piece to that is, you said something about perception. The other piece about that is everyone thinks, and I mentioned this in the pilot, that we are hermits and that we're not like that. We really need to be in a space where we are comfortable. And then when it comes to relationships, it's what we are getting out of the relationships. That is what we're more receptive to. It's not just being all out, in the space. Is we really hone into the meaning of the relationships that we build. So we still are outgoing, just like extroverts or those that are in between. We are still outgoing. There are still things that we would like to do with our lives. We're still going to take the time to get ourselves to the spaces that we want to be in, but we are more internal thinking on what the processes are for us to get there. I think that's kind of a misconception of what people think about introverts, that we just are secluded people, and we're not.
Yeah, I can see that, and I can see where the differences lie, just even from, there's, when you look at research on introvert and extrovert, and you can't look up one without finding information about the other.
Right.
So I did see that a lot, is that that difference, or what's the difference between the two. They have the chart. And there's always we like to be more social, but we like to be in our little hole. And you just said, that's not always the case.
Right.
So do you think that your personality has changed over the years when it comes to things like that, being social and stuff?
In my opinion, for me, no. I've always been the outgoing person. I've always been very selective of who I bring into my space. So that's always been me. So no, I think I've always been this way. But again, it's me getting into my older age is coming out more. I can see myself being more liking to be by myself. I should say that. Liking to be by myself and just relaxing and enjoying me time than I do like being out. Now, if it's a vacation or some travel, hey, call your girl up, because I'm a traveler. I like doing that. But when it's, just every day, just me having those few hours to myself, I enjoy that. And I feel like, too, we're introverts. I think we like being by ourselves, and that's just how we are. You gotta love yourself to be with yourself. So that's what I've learned about myself over really the last couple of years, especially with COVID hit and we were all at home.
Oh my
I was like, can you please find me a closet where I can just sit in by myself? I guess so. I guess that was like really when I really realized that I really enjoy being by myself.
COVID was something else. You realize you enjoy being by yourself. I realized I need to get out.
Yeah.
I need to be around people. I need to be, in the world and doing something amongst people. Like, when we were in COVID times, that's kind of where I started making my transition from being in corporate America into a entrepreneur and working more from home. And we started working from home. And then as I transitioned into an entrepreneurial space and my home became my office, and I realized I couldn't have water cooler conversations and stuff like that anymore, I started to miss that. And, I was telling Des, sorry, y'all, Des is my wife. So I told Des that, like, I think I want to go like get a job like outside of entrepreneurship because I miss being outside. I miss being around people. And, it was just like I had that moment where you were probably more like, oh, yes.
Yeah,
at home.
Don't bother me. Don't call me. Why are you calling me?
That Teams noise, girl. That Teams noise. But like, I just noticed that I was missing something, right? And so when I would get, clients that wanted me to go travel or something like that, I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God. I needed to get out. It
was the exact opposite for me. And then when it was time to go outside, it was like, stranger danger. I didn't want to be outside. But like I said, I think it depends on what it is. Like I'm traveling, I'm ready to go. But if it's for me to be out and socializing and networking, no, you can cancel Christmas on that for me. I'm not very enthusiastic with doing that.
We gonna turn you into a salesperson.
Selling what? What? Silence? I can sell that. I'm very good at that.
Not selling silence. Listen, look, that's that perception.
Yeah.
That's that perception, though, that we were just talking about. Is perceived that, you can't be a salesperson because you're an introvert, right? But you really can.
You can. I just choose not to be that person. Not anything that I'm interested in doing. Well, tell me this. So, at being an extrovert, what are some of the pain points that you have encountered with being an extrovert?
Oh, that's a good question. And I think that finding the word in the Webster's Dictionary, make sure you guys go look it up, the word aggression was there when it was describing someone who's an extrovert. And I'm like, dang, but I feel like I'm a very nice, soft person, but aggression was there. And like, I have a pain point with that. Like, people always thinking I'm so aggressive. And I know I'm very stern with certain things, but I think I'm like soft as tissue paper. Like, I can be so soft and fun and bubbly, but a lot of people don't take the time because they may see me. I've heard I'm very intimidating to a lot of people. I hear that a lot. I don't think I'm very intimidating. I think I'm very approachable. I'm always smiling. And that's also something. So it's like, am I always smiling or am I non-approachable and aggressive? Like, what is it? What are we doing here?
Let me tell you. So you brought up a good point. So as an introvert, I have also been told that I'm intimidating. So it's crazy the way people think, because as an extrovert, you're more out there, you're speaking, you're spitting the knowledge, and people are intimidated by that. But on the other end, when you quiet and you sit back and you observing, people are intimidated by that too. So it's crazy that you said that, because I have heard that about myself too.
So what are we going to do here? Like, what do you guys want from us? What do you want from us? Do you want us to be smiley out there doing it and still be intimidated? Or do you want us to be like Dr. J here and be quiet and, it's the silent ones you got to watch out for and be intimidated by that? Like, we're tired. Like, what do you want us to do? Put it in the comments so that way we can see what it is you want. we need to know how you want us to be.
Yeah.
And so, not saying we gonna change who we are, but it's just good to know, to see, like, how those people, like you said, it's crazy that they're intimidated by both personalities. Yep. And so that begs the question, is it our perception, like your perception of who we are and what we do, with me being more boisterous and speaking and you being more quiet, and they're in the back of their mind always heard it's the quiet ones you got to watch out for? That sounds to me more like learned behavior.
Correct.
Versus anything.
So who told y'all that? Who told you that the quiet ones are the ones to watch? Who told you?
Who told you, sis? Who let you know that? Because it's truly not true. And so, it's just kind of thinking about those things, like, that is something that is really a big pain point, because I get prejudged based off of how I can be in one space. Professionally, I'm definitely more of a stern individual. I'm really about business, and it got to make sense to me. And I'm very direct. I like the word direct better than aggressive. I am very direct. But in my outside life of professional, I'm fun, bubbly, like I feel like I could be the life of the party. I'm funny. All of those things come out, but I'm always loud. I'm always loud. My voice carries. I don't need a microphone. I don't even need this right here, right? I don't need a mic. And so those are the two different things that are me. It's all me. But then you run in and you pose the question, or people don't want to talk to me because of those things and that imbalance in their mind or in their perception of me before they even, speak to me.
Right.
So that's definitely a pain point.
Well, I would say for me as an extrovert, it's kind of on both sides, because like I said, I've been told that I'm intimidating, excuse me. I've been told bougie, bougie, arrogant. But then on the other side, that's some, in my opinion, some of the bad, just by looking at me. But I've also have had the people that don't have the confidence in me because I'm quiet. They lack my abilities to do certain things because I'm quiet. So it's challenging being someone who likes to be reserved and be observant, and want to think before they speak. I think that's the thing. With introverts, we like to think before we speak, and that bothers people. Those are some of the things that, like, when it comes to personal relationships, I'm one. Even though I am quiet and reserved, I like to set boundaries in the beginning. And I don't know if it's because of the way that I bring forward the boundaries. That's where the arrogance come into play. Or, well, why did you have to say it like that? But I'm setting my boundaries to let you know who I am. Like, I'm quiet, but, this is who I am and this is what I'm going to accept. It's those are the pain points for me. Yep, and it's the perception of people just, conceited, snooty, because I'm quiet.
Oh my gosh. It just begs, like, people really don't know you.
They don't.
Because
but granted, to their point, until I am comfortable with you, you really don't know who I am.
Yeah.
And I think that's an issue with them, because they don't know who I am.
Yeah.
And for me, I am real big about energies. If something is just bouncing off of you onto me and I don't feel comfortable, I'm not opening up to you. And so I really don't allow you the opportunity to get to know me. I have to feel comfortable. It's something you have to show something to me for me to be like, okay, might be cool. But if you come off at a certain way, like in the beginning, or I just can't. It's just something about it. Spirit of discernment, I don't know. I just can't give it to you at that time.
So now let's take a look at it like this, right? We are all humans. We're all humans, right? I'm human. Okay. You're human.
Mm-hmm.
And you said something where you were like, if I got to feel comfortable with you, but like, if you don't, like, that's it. Like, there's nothing else. That's it. You're done.
Yeah.
And so, do you believe in second chances as a human being?
So I do. Whew. So I used to be a person who gave trust in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But my experiences have led to me to no longer give my trust in the beginning, and you have to earn that. And I try to give a few benefits.
Mm-hmm.
I do, but it depends for me on what the situation was.
Mm-hmm.
But I am open to giving second chances. And sometimes I even, I loosen up and I say, oh, well, let's have a conversation. But even in that instance of where I'm coming to you and I'm trying to have a conversation, I'm trying to bridge whatever it is that I have felt before, even if you've come off wrong in that, I'm done. There's no coming back from that. So, but yeah, I do to a certain extent.
Y'all see how her voice went up?
I know extroverted CC gives all the chances.
I told y'all I am so nice. It's tissue baby. Like, I am so soft. I really do. She brings up a point.
Yeah. So, what is your thought, Miss Extrovert, on second chances and third and fourth
and fifth? Keep it going. And six and seven. No, I do. I believe in chances. But I will say, I believe in chances, but I'm not going to say never. Let me rephrase. It is very hard to have the same exact relationship with me that you had before. So the chances will come because, I'm human, you're human, we all make mistakes. And as long as you own up to that, like, let's have a conversation, or even if we don't, that's fine. That's your problem, is no longer mine.
Right.
But let's move forward with whatever we have to move forward with. And you can still be invited into the area, but you'll never be in this right here space. But you can still be in the area, especially if we have business together that we need to handle or take care of, or, we have mutual circle of friends or anything like that. Like, I'll still say hello. Mm-hmm. I'll still have a conversation with you, but it'll just be that. Like, it probably won't go back to what it was before.
Right.
That relationship is more than likely over. But I'll still talk to you and stuff. I'm not going to keep hanging over anyone's head of whatever we had in the past. Like, I've moved on from it. That's probably the reason why I give so many chances, because I don't know, like, it's just like a switch. It just shuts off. Like, okay, whatever, move on. Mm-hmm. And I've let it go. I don't hold on to things. I don't continuously bring things up. She laughing over here because I got to bring this to her all the time. Like, girl, let it go. Like, we got things to do. That she can hold some stuff.
Well, wait a minute.
See, that voice went up
I
again.
can. So here's me. I don't even know if this has to do with even being an introvert. This is just Dr. J. I give second chances, and I'm like you. Whatever happens, whether we were the best of friends, that relationship, it won't be the same. But, CC, again, we've had this conversation. I'm about to lie. I do. I hold grudges. But I can forgive, but I will never, ever forget. Mm-hmm. And I can still be cordial. I can still speak, and I can still be in the same space as you. But in the back of this sister-like head, I remember what you did. Mm-hmm. Every time I see you, it's a reminder of what you did to me or what the situation was. And that is the piece that I can't get past. Mm-hmm. So again, the trust for me, it's gone at that point. And it's at a point of no return. Yeah. Like, I will never get past that. And someone could apologize. They could do all the things. But for me, I still remember what the situation was or what it is that you do, what it is that you did to me. And that is something that Jesus is still working on me, and I'm going to learn how to work past. But that is one thing that really is my pain point when it comes to people and the things that go on.
No, I feel it. I feel it because people be peopling. And I'm just like, y'all need to calm down, right? But it's the same thing, but just in a different way. Like, you know, there's like levels to this.
Right.
You know, and we talk all the time. Like, you have 100% up here, and then every time you do something, the percentage goes down. You may still be in the nuclear area, but you definitely are not in the eye no more. You ain't in the bullseye circle, right? If we're looking at a dartboard, there's the little itty bitty bullseye. Like Dr. J, she's in my bullseye section, right? That's just how much I trust this woman right here. I trust her with my life. And so she in the bullseye section, my wife in the bullseye area. Like there's people who are in that area. And then as things continuously happen throughout our lives, whether things change and stuff, they start to get on those outer parts, right? The less point parts of the dartboard, right? They started out at 10 points, but now they over here in 2-point section. You know, it just become life things. And so you can still, hey, how you doing? You know, we can still party together, whatever the case may be. I'll still talk to you. But I may not choose to be in a business relationship with you because you on the outer section of the dartboard. You ain't in that middle section or the area close to the bullseye where I would trust someone with business. So I may not put you there. Yeah. But you in the circle where we could go to Mesa Drummer together. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like that when it comes to the trust level with people, it can waver in that way. But I don't mind chances. It's just the level of chances is different, right?
Right. Different for me, especially when it comes to the business standpoint, because I feel like if I can't, this is going to sound so bad, but if I can't trust you personally, I can't trust you in business.
Yeah.
I've seen it different from some people, especially the person sitting beside me. Business is business to her. But if I can't feel comfortable and trust you in my personal life, I could never put you in my business. Guess something else I need to work on.
You ain't got to work on it.
But I mean, but I should be able to separate the two. And in some situations I can. But when it comes down to my check and me presenting myself in a manner to build my business and having you alongside me, and I can't trust you in my personal life, I can't. That's a hard no.
No, I feel that. Especially in the entrepreneur life, it's different. It's different the way that you do business as an entrepreneur versus corporate America.
Yeah.
And we work together, we're peers in corporate America. You're going to get a different experience from the trust level of people. Like, you know, my people in corporate America, I'm not inviting them over to discuss business and have a barbecue. But in entrepreneurship, you may do that. Yeah. Right. You may invite them over, and in the same token, you guys are discussing business. I'm going to use Dr. J's word, talk shop. We talking shop at the same time. We at the table having a glass of wine. So like, it's totally different. So I understand, you know, from your perspective, why you have to be able to trust them in your personal space, in your home, and also in business, where I don't, because I'm not ever going to invite you there.
Yeah.
We're like, I'm just not. But I totally get that. Even from an entrepreneur standpoint, I can have a business relationship with somebody for the span of 30 days or whatever the contract is, and never invite them over or anything and not feel bad about it. So it's just, I don't know. I'll tell them that up front too as well. Like, this is a business. It's transactional, very transactional for me. And we're just going to get this money together and move on. Thank you so much for the business deal. Contract over. Like, I'm like that. And that's kind of where the extroverted personality or the aggressiveness that the Webster Dictionary likes to put on us is that we're very like, I'm straight, no chaser when it comes to things like that. So But the warm and
Bring up-
fuzzies be there.
Yep. Because like I said, ours is internal thoughts and feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And so internally, if I cannot trust you, and you bring up a good point, because when you talk about business, I am talking about entrepreneurship. It is different in the corporate space.
Mm-hmm.
But I am too almost the same in the corporate space. There's some people that I trust, and then I know there are some people that do not have my best interests at heart.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to learn how to work with them to be able to get the work done.
Yeah.
But yeah, this entrepreneurship, yeah, if I can't trust you, then yeah, I can't move forward with you.
No, it makes sense, and I can see why. So it's like about your person. So that's all more personality.
Yeah.
Right. So we're now in the space of personality, talking about our different personalities, what we will accept, won't accept. I'm wondering, put in the comments if you feel the same way when it comes to you doing your business. We want to read it. We want to see. Are you guys feeling the same way that we feel when it comes to business? Are you putting it together? Are you separating it? Are you able to separate it? Do you have to have it together when it comes to trust, especially like our entrepreneurs who are listening in and watching? What do you think when it comes to your personality? Are you more like Dr. J, where if I can't trust you personally, then I'm not going to trust you in business? Or are you more like me? It's very transactional from a business perspective, and that's it. You're not getting invited to the cookout at the house. Like, what are we doing here? So I definitely want to see what, our audience thinks about that. And I don't know, maybe we can come back and comment on something.
Yeah.
Getting feels.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the corporate space real quick. So are you bringing food to the potluck?
No.
Me either. I'm bringing my own lunch and I'm sitting at my desk.
I am. I will definitely not be bringing food to the potluck, and I'm not eating anything at the potluck either. But I'm gonna come and socialize though. Like, I'll come and socialize at the potluck. I ain't going. I ain't going back to work right away. I'm gonna socialize with everybody and be like, "Oh, girl, yes, you did that." But I'm not. No, thank you. I just ate. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've gotten in trouble for not. Well, I wouldn't say gotten in trouble, but I have been looked at a little sideways for not participating in the potluck, and I'm like, I'm from the South. I don't know how you cook, what's at your house, what's crawling on your kitchen with cats and no.
And no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that with the meows.
That was so off topic, but I had to ask that question.
What are y'all doing? Y'all bringing food to the potluck or what? Are we going to the potluck? Are we socializing? Like myself, now I'm good for a good social hour. Don't ask, I ain't getting nothing, but I'm definitely down to socialize with everybody at the potluck and hang out. Because, they give you time away from work for that. Time away from business to be able to do that. So I'm all for that. Let's go. How you doing? That type of conversation until it's time for us to go handle business, and then we cut it off. But in the time frame, I'm definitely going to hang out at the potluck. I don't know. My mama, Miss Mary is something else. Miss Mary said, we don't eat other folks cooking. So that's learned behavior. Blame it on my mama as learned behavior. We don't eat other folks cooking. So no, I'm not coming. No, don't ask. And no, I'm not bringing. So
you be like, who made the potato salad? That's how you get it. Who made the macaroni and cheese?
Who made that, girl?
Okay. See, I don't even give them that time. Thank you. This is nice. Can I get a Coke?
They did a really good job. Like, it may look good. I'm just not personally going to try it, but it may look good. I'll ask somebody else, like, did you try it? Did it taste good? How was it? They probably felt they did a great job, and I'm going to make sure that they feel great because they took the time and energy to do it. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you, too, for being that way because you know what I'm doing? Okay, I'm not going to get that. This is how I'm like, okay.
Y'all see
it? I'll see y'all later. That's me. At least I walked through. You saw me. and
Just
then I'm
busy
going
with
back to
it.
my desk.
On DoorDash.
Yep. I'll go out and get something. Yeah. No.
Yeah. No, I feel it. I feel it.
I'm proud of you. You out there conversing and everything. No.
We got
Cordial.
to.
Cordial and
We
move
got
on.
to.
Oh,
I can't. That just kind of threw me for a loop, but it made me laugh and think about my mama. So, and it's so crazy though, because my mom, I personally feel like my mom is an introvert like you.
really?
Yes. My mom, she is like, she will talk to people. She'll talk to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
but she enjoys a lot of her alone time. A lot of her alone time. She will be in social settings, but where I could be in a social setting for a really long time, her social meter drains really quickly, like an introverted person, but she will talk to anyone. Whereas more of the traditional introverts that I know, they won't talk. They'll observe first and then talk later.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, she'll talk first, but in about 15 minutes, Miss Mary gonna be like, all right, and grab my stuff. Oh, you want to take some? Oh no, baby, I'm good. And she'll get her stuff and she'll go. But her social meter drains really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But she's very well liked by people, so it's very interesting to see that. But I really think my mom is an introvert.
So my mom is an introvert, but she is very sociable. She is always out there. She is the one who's bringing the stuff to the potluck and to the cookout.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that. But that is the type of person that she is. But when it's time to go for her, it's time to go too.
Time to go.
And I love my mama. Hey, mama, when you see this, her patience is very short too. Once her patience has run out, she gone. But as I stated before, like my father is an introvert too, but I think I get more of my traits and personalities from him because he is more outgoing, and more the things that he's interested in, he push forwards with, and that's the same as me. Like if it's something that I'm really interested in, or it's something like, oh, that's it, I'm gonna dive into it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, when I can go out, but when it's time to, it's time to go, I'm gonna head out.
Makes sense. You brought up something really quick that I want to talk about before we head out for this episode. Patience.
Woo.
You talked about patience for a second.
It's a virtue. Honey.
How do you feel you are with your patience as an introvert?
So early on in my life, I don't think I had any patience, but I have learned to have more patience. And that is one thing that a lot of people tell me, like, you still have. But for me, it's a learned trait for me. I'm a life coach. Being a life coach and actively listening, being in different organizations, being in leadership, I think has grown my patience. I know what not to internalize, so to say, to not be so affected by certain things, which I think helps me with my patience. I think I have, and my children have given me a lot of patience. So I think I thrive in that area when it comes to patience. What about you?
So she doing all that because she already know me. My patience is probably as fast as the speed of light. I have zero patience, but what's crazy is, so for out there in YouTube land and those watching, I am a certified trainer, professional development and training and development trainer. And I have a lot of patience for that. A lot of patience when I am training someone and when I'm developing things that have to do with training and development or professional development. But anything else outside of that, I have zero patience for. I have zero patience for a lot of things, which is another word that was in the research in the dictionary next to extrovert, was they're very impatient. And I have no patience. I know it. I don't need people to tell me. I already know I don't have patience. No, I'm not working on it. And no, it has not changed. And I get it. I understand. It's unfortunate, but that's just what it is. I have no patience. And I'm very impulsive. So that's that.
No, I can. She is telling the truth. But even to that, one thing that we do share is we don't have patience for nonsense. Even though I have learned to tolerate some nonsense. But I don't internalize it. I allow people to talk, say what it is that they need to say, and then I move on. I don't want to speak for Cece, but I know Cece, she don't want to hear none of it. No nonsense for her. But I think too, I know you said you ain't learning it, but I think really patience is something that you kind of gotta gradually, you have to learn how to build the patience. And then especially whatever industry or your work environment or whatever your career is some things are gonna need that that trait to be able to navigate and excel in your space. So it is something that has to be learned.
I'll do that when I'm in my 40s. In these good 30s.
What you trying to say? What you
in these good 30s though. We impatient. But I will revisit the personality structure of that. Impatientness in them good 40s. I'll see about that.
But I feel like too that has a lot to do, like you said, with personality too, because we're constantly thinking too. So we have the patience to kind of think out the process, and as people are talking, you're trying to figure out what you need to say to them next. So you have to, we navigate those spaces a little different. It's funny because how much time we got left, but I remember us having a conversation earlier today about details, like the conversations that we have and the I think that with the patience, like you don't have time for the details, just get straight to the point type thing too. So I think as we continue to grow as Black women, I'm gonna help Cece grow some patience.
She gonna help me grow some patience. Make sure y'all like this video or put in the comments if you want to see me get some patience. If you want Dr. J to help me grow some patience, grow some patience. If y'all just put in the comments, if I see enough people say Dr. J helps CC out with patience, then I'll pray on that to grow some patience.
She gonna get some patience, y'all.
We gonna try. We gonna work it out. But
you patient with me.
I am, but you my sister.
Oh, it's them others.
I ain't got no choice. You my sister.
It's the outsiders.
Yeah, it's the outsiders. I don't know. I got patience for you, my wife, my child, and my mama.
The buck stops there.
That's all that's in that bullseye area. Everybody else is questionable, but I want to see, so we gonna talk. You know what? We should actually have a whole episode just on patience and impatience, just to see. Y'all want to see that? I think we should.
All right, let's see what we can do.
Season 2.
Yeah, season 2.
All right, y'all. We had a great time with you today. Just want to give a shout out to Bosses Management Solutions for sponsoring this video. If you want to become a sponsor, make sure you like and follow and share and reach out to us so that way you can become a sponsor of what we are doing in this movement of introverted vibes and extroverted energy. We would love to shout you out on the podcast.
Right. And if there are any topics that you are wanting to hear us talk about, please put those in the comments. And we will try to get those topics on this podcast. But we thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. We
All
look
right.
forward to seeing y'all next time.